Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeline Lemon for those of you who don't know me. And before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button below because every Friday I post a new video about health, wellness, and fulfillment, and I would love if you would join me. So today I'm gonna share my fridge tour with you, and I called it the ultimate gut healing fridge tour because it truly is stocked with so many great gut healing foods. But I pondered a little bit before I started this on exactly how I wanted to share it with you because I went on YouTube for a little inspiration to see what other people were sharing on their fridge tours, and you guys, it's just crazy to me how perfect these people's fridges are. I mean, they are color coded. Their produce isn't in a bag, it isn't in a box. It's like all laid out there, just looking perfect. And anyone who's ever eaten a piece of lettuce out of a fridge knows that if you don't put it in a bag, it's gonna wilt within a day. So while my fridge is clean and while I did make a bunch of things ahead of time so that my fridge would be fully stocked, I kept everything in the bags that I normally keep it in, and overall I just wanted it to be a real representation of what my fridge looks like because it's so important to me to be authentic and to not make my life look better than it is, because I think that there's just too much of that on social media already. We already have a lot to work against with social media, and we don't need someone else's freaking fridge to make us feel bad about ourselves. So I hope, if anything, that this can give you inspiration and ideas for things to cook and fix for yourself that will make you feel amazing. So I'm just gonna turn my camera around and show you what I've got. All right guys, I'm just going for it and starting shelf by shelf. So the first thing I have are these sunflower seed crackers that I made up this morning. I used activated sunflower seeds, and so I can use these with pate or guacamole or just by themselves throughout the week. I've also always got extra bone broth sitting in my fridge because I use it to make chicken soup, but I also use it if I'm ever just craving a glass of bone broth by itself. So you can see I've got a bunch of those back there. So I also have chicken soup in here, and this is what I eat every single morning for breakfast. One of these is 2 servings, so just enough for Sean and I for breakfast. And I make a batch that lasts about 3 or 4 days. So as you can see, I've got about 3 of these left in here, so that'll be breakfast for the next 3 days, and then I'll make a new batch. All right, so I have also got my resistant starch rice sitting in here that I use throughout the week. I've talked about this rice before, but I use it all the time in my cooking because it's basically magic. It allows you to eat rice without dropping out of ketosis. And in addition, it's full of resistant starch, which feeds all of the friendly bacteria in your gut. And I soak it overnight before I make it, which makes it extremely digestible. So you'll notice that that's the only grain that I eat. I don't eat any other grains, not gluten, not oatmeal, yeah, not anything else, but I love my resistant starch rice. Next, I've got 3 dozen eggs for the week, and I use pastured organic eggs. I change up the brand a little bit here and there, but just as long as they're pasture raised and organic, I'm good. And then I've got my meat stash for the week. So I've got beef here. This is grass-fed, of course, and of course free-range organic chicken. I've got some bacon as well and some salmon wild-caught in the freezer. These are just some onions that I only needed part of, and so I put them in these bees wraps, which I am obsessed with, to just keep them fresh until I need them again. And then next, oh, you know what? I forgot the drawer. Okay, so this is my herb drawer, and I put all my fresh herbs in here. I've got basil, thyme, some more basil, and then I actually store my culture starters in here as well. So you can see I've got my coconut kefir starter and my coconut yogurt starter in here. Okay, in the back here I've just got some plain shredded chicken from Sprouts. I don't usually buy stuff like this, but I was in a moment of desperation the other day for lunch because I didn't have anything, and so I went ahead and bought that and just been using it. This is kind of my snack stack. This is chicken liver pate, which is absolutely just full of nutrients. This stuff has more vitamins in it per ounce than any other food on the planet. Yes, that is insane. I've got some cultured guacamole here that I will use with some roasted vegetables. I've got activated sunflower seeds and activated pumpkin seeds that I just munch on throughout the week. Then I've got my coconut water kefir, which I drink every day, 1 to 3 cups. And back there, I have my coconut yogurt, which I have a cup of a day as well. And then I've just got some extra crackers that I made this morning that were falling apart, so I just stuck them in a bag. These cultures are a really important part of my daily diet. And what I just showed you, the water kefir and the coconut yogurt, are kind of the basis of what I do. And then I ferment stuff using those. So like the guacamole that I just showed you was made using some of that coconut water kefir. And then I'm gonna show you a bunch more fermented stuff that I used the coconut water kefir and the yogurt to make. All right, so here I've just got some roasted carrots and sweet potatoes to use with guacamole. And then Sean likes to use these because he's actually trying not to be in ketosis because he was losing too much weight. These are absolutely incredible. This is just blueberries and strawberries, which I fermented in coconut water kefir. This is absolutely a treat. It's almost like a fruit soda. And so when you're done eating the fruit, you actually drink the kefir. Oh my gosh, it is so good. I've got some purple kale and some lacinato kale in here that I'm going to saute up later this week. I've got celery and carrots here. And then in this drawer, I have a couple things of Brussels sprouts. I have parsnips, which I use in my bone broth, and sometimes I roast that up. I've also got a big bag of zucchini in here. And then in this drawer, I have fennel. By the way, I use these reusable bags whenever I go to the store to put my veggies in. And then when I get home, I put it in plastic because I just save these every time I run out of vegetables. That way I don't have to keep getting more plastic every time, but my vegetables stay fresh. And then I've got these beautiful radishes that I just got yesterday. And this is just another bag full of fresh herbs. I've got parsley and cilantro in here. So I use a lot of fresh herbs. I think that they make any dish taste so much more flavorful. All right, and now we've got some butter, which we go through a lot of butter in this house. This is the only dairy that I eat. We've got this Kerrygold, which is grass-fed butter. So I've got salted and unsalted. I use this a lot in desserts, the unsalted stuff. It's really great. I hate peeling garlic, and so I buy this pre-peeled garlic. It is not organic, unfortunately, but to be honest, the trouble of peeling garlic just to have it be organic to me isn't worth it, so I sacrifice in that way. I can just chop this right up. This is really good clean mayonnaise from Primal Kitchen that I use. I also use a lot of coconut aminos, and I buy honestly like all the different brands, just whatever they have at the store that I'm shopping at. I also use a lot of fish sauce in the Asian dishes that I cook. This is the absolute best brand. It's one of the only kind of certified clean fish sauces with no contaminants. Dijon mustard for when I make salad dressing. I've also got this tamarind paste that I use for some Indian cooking. That's great. Got my B12 shots back here. I also have regular yellow mustard, some capers, and then this Greek dressing that honestly I haven't used in a while. All right, here's some more fermented stuff. I've got fermented bananas that I'm going to use to make banana pancakes later on this week. I've got fermented avocados. I have fermented tomato sauce, and this is some raspberry coconut yogurt that I just made. Behind here, this is basically just some sauerkraut that I made with beets and cabbage and carrots. And then I've got some more of that down here. You can actually see this better. And that's really delicious just to kind of add as a condiment onto your meals. And then last but not least, I have some just plain San Pellegrino. I love sparkling water, and I can't have LaCroix anymore, so this is what I do with some lime and lemon. Okay, that was actually pretty fast, so I'm just gonna show you a couple things in my pantry right now. I'm not gonna do an entire pantry tour right now because I have so many little things in there, but I just wanted to show you like the rest of the vegetables and staples that I use. So as you can see, I have basically zero pantry space, just these two shelves, that's it. And to be honest, I don't really have a lot of ingredients that I put in here, so that's okay, but it is starting to get full on the bottom and it's driving me crazy. Okay, so this basket is where I keep my vegetables that don't need to go in the fridge. So I've got lemons and onions in there, and then I put my sweet potatoes in here. I've also got turmeric and ginger in here in one of these reusable bags so they can breathe and they don't get moldy. And then I also bought these epic pork rinds for, again, when you have those desperate moments of needing something to eat. These are pretty good, especially if you dip them like in guacamole or pate. All right, what else? This is the best tomato sauce of all time. It's super clean. If you're not on a specific diet, just eat it straight. I usually ferment it before I use it, and I only use nightshades right now about once a week while I'm still kind of reintroducing them. I've got my coconut water here that I use to make my coconut water kefir. And then I've also got some nori, and then back there are some of those sea snacks so that I can get some good iodine. To be honest, I don't really eat these very often because they're not my favorite. This is the brand of white rice that I use to make my cooked and cooled rice. You want to use organic long grain white rice, not basmati rice, and so this one is really cheap and I just get it at Kroger. A couple other staples are organic apple cider vinegar that's raw. I always have organic virgin coconut oil in here as well. I don't really care what brand it is, just as long as it is organic virgin, and some MCT oil as well. Sean likes to use this monk fruit sweetener in his coffee coffee in the morning. I use this really rarely, but I try to stick to stevia when I do want a sweetener. So I forgot to mention that the only oils that I use in my cooking besides coconut oil are avocado oil, which I cook with, and then olive oil, which I try not to cook with. I usually put it on top of a dish after it's already done cooking because it can oxidize really easily, which makes it unhealthy. So you want to use this after your dish is finished. I hope that you can see that while yes, it does take quite a lot of work during the week to prepare all this food, what's amazing is once I get it all prepped, then I'm good to go for the week. And because I've prepped my breakfast and because I eat leftovers for lunch, I really only ever have to cook dinner, which is awesome. But the reason for that is because I meal plan and I meal prep at the beginning of the week. All right, guys, that is the end of my fridge tour. If you have questions about anything like specific recipes or links or anything, just let me know in the comments below because I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have or point you in the right direction. And make sure to hit the subscribe button because I'm posting videos every Friday. I will see you guys next week.